it's Guido coming at you with a tank review. A little late to the party on this one, but we've got the GSOR 1010. I just finished the 100 Battle Challenge on it. I don't think I did a proper review on it, so we'll do a quick review as part of the end of the 100 Battle Challenge on it. This is a premium Tier 8 British medium tank with wheels. If you're familiar with the French wheeled tanks, this doesn't do that. Those are lights. They turn up their own bungus. These do not do that in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, it is arguable that these are worse at maneuvering than most of the other Tier 8 mediums. Yes, that's right, it's a medium. This is a tank, if you want to skip the rest of the review, how would I put this? It's not terrible. You can do okay in it. You can occasionally do really well in it, but it requires a lot of thinking to get the most out of this tank. There's no armor. It's not particularly maneuverable. It is fast, so it will get you into trouble. The armor will not get you out of trouble. It has a heavy-esque reload time with poor DPM. You're going to want to play it as a standoff. I hate to say sniper. I'll throw that out there for those of you who like that. At least mid-range kind of guy. And you need to be the fire brigade mid to late game. You've got to get this thing to mid to late game where it'll start to shine a little bit more based on its mobility and a decent alpha on its gun for closing guys out. There you go. As far as hold down meta and what you're looking for in a really, really good Tier 8 medium tank, either some kind of auto-loading moronicness going on or some kind of super turret, it has neither. It doesn't have any of that. All right, so here it is. Have I bashed on it enough? You know, I'm not really bashing on it, fellas. It's not bad, but I can't sit here and tell you that it fits this meta very well, because it does not. It may fit playstyles of certain people well, but it does not fit the meta very well. So get it to mid to late game, bottom line. All right, let's take a deeper dive into it, my friends. You can see I've got 3 crew members, which I believe are Saladin. Yes, so that's my Saladin crew. It has the same crew as the Tier 8 and above British medium tank, so that will work. You can move them in and out of there. See, I've got 3 skills on that working on my force, so a decent crew. As far as the setup goes, I've already moved everything. I had that combat set up there with a rammer, vert stab, and I want to say maybe I don't remember. Might have been a turbo. The other setup was a vision setup with turbo and optics and a CVS, so I could swap back and forth. I had a vision setup for it. It's not particularly great at it because its camo's not amazing, but again, reference back to the mid to late game, keep it alive with some hit points. A CVS and some good vision, even if your particular camo isn't great, is very useful in the mid to late game for digging people out. So that's how we had it set up. I did run pudding and crumpets and tea and whatever else is in there. I think some, I don't know, fish and chips, all that good stuff. We have 2 kits, 2 large kits, and I had 18 APCR. As far as the pen goes, you're looking at 218, which is reasonable for the standard round. 252, which is okay. It is APCR. You will like the shell velocity with the gold round at 1250. So that's getting up into laser beam. Insofar as the velocity in World of Tanks goes, that's nearing towards the top. So it's quite comfortable in terms of lead fire and taking shots when you're running the APCR. You can see the AP was down near 1,000. So that's how I had this thing set up. That was my crew right there. I did do the field mods. Only one I took was this one, which is extra reverse speed. I did not mess with the aiming circle one or the aiming time, and I did not mess with the hull traverse, although this is okay. I mean, it will help with the hull traverse kind of thing, but 50% extra damage to ammo rack or penalty, and plus 20 to dispersion of damage gun. The damage gun one's probably NA because you rarely ever have to worry about that with the way the kits recharge. But the ammo rack thing, this thing got lit on fire and ammo racked a lot, so I didn't use it. But it is something that can add to some of the hull traverse woes that this thing has. Let's take a look at a comparison amongst its peers. I picked 4. There are no other wheeled medium tanks in the game as of right now, so it's not there aren't any real direct comparisons. I did pick some of the better premiums. Remember, it is a premium, the Borosk and the KPZ, which kind of are in a similar type of play situation, right? More standoff. The Burr has the burst of the two 360 Alpha, and it's a lot more mobile and smaller and stealthier. The KPZ is another tank you don't really want to get in and start playing punchy face. And then I have the Saladin, which is the Tier 8 Tech Tree version, or Tech Tree Tier 8 wheeled tank for the Brits. So what do we have here? We have a decent Alpha at 360 along with the Borosk. These other two have much lower Alpha guns. We talked about the Pen already. Rate of fire is low, lowest amongst these, even lower than the Borosk. That's interesting. Gun loading 12 seconds. 12 seconds to get 360 Alpha. Ouch. Ouch. Extremely, extremely painful. The Traverse is nice, so the turret does move quickly. That's good. You've got -8 gun depression. Decent. Not bad. 0.32 dispersion is up there with the Saladin. That's actually pretty good at Tier 8 for a gun with a 360 Alpha. It's really kind of carrying a heavy gun around, fellas, with the reload and the whole thing with the DPM down at 1809. That is so painful. So be careful with timing. If you've got that, hey, I'm driving a medium, I should be able to fire every 6 to 8 seconds kind of timing in your cranium. That is not this tank, so you may miss time some pokes or pushes or things after firing, thinking you're going to have a shell up much faster than you actually do. So keep that in mind while you're playing it. It does take a while to reload. And what that gives us is an outrageously dumb DPM of 1809 when a Borosk, which is an auto loader, has 1835. Unreal. KPZ at 25. The Saladin's not much better, although it fires much faster. It's only got the 250 Alpha, so it takes more hits to get that better by 115 or more, 106 DPM out of it. Survivability, it has, none of these have armor, really. The KPZ has 115 hull, 80 turret. This thing's 60-60. It's not as bad as the Saladin, which is a painful 32 on each, nor is it as bad as the Borosk. So the 60 will limit some of the lower capability HE shells, but it will let in some of those big ones that are known. So be careful with HE and with artillery. Artillery will tear you up as well. Plus you're a big box, makes it easier for artillery to hit you because you're so large. Mobility is decent. We've got 60 kilometers an hour and 30 backwards. That's nice. Saladin does that as well, although these two are not far off with 23 and 25. 30 backwards is nice. That does let you get out of situations to some extent or maneuver. So while your right and left turning with your whole traverse is atrocious, at least you've got some good reverse speed trying to get out of situations if you need to. And here it is, guys. Traverse speed of 31.29 is just bad. The Saladin has the same thing, whereas the Borosk is 43. And if a lot of you have played the Borosk, and maybe not the GSOR, think of how boat-like turning the Borosk is. It is a bit painful, right? Trying to get that thing to turn. This is worse. This is worse. And then, of course, the KPZ does a little spinning ballet dance when it turns. Concealment is bad at 13 down here. It's the worst of all of these three. Again, it's larger than all three of these guys. And just for to add insult to injury, you've got a worse view range than the other two at 400 and a little bit better than the Saladin at 380. So what do we have here? We have you might call it a hard-hitting medium with a decently mobile platform and nice accuracy, except that there's also the Borosk dropping 360 in 2 shots within 3 seconds. 1 shot in 2 seconds. I don't know. It's hard to compare anything really against the Borosk. It's just head and shoulders above most of the other Tier 8 premiums. We take a quick look here at how it's been doing. We've got, obviously, the Mars and the Chimera, I just sort of disregarded them in terms of that. But here's the Borosk. It's number 1. A little bit further down is the KPZ, which has, I think, a similar play style. And if you slide on down here, the GSOR. So it's not at the bottom. People are doing okay in it. It is overperforming, actually, per people's win rate, which is interesting. And I think that probably has a lot to do with mobility. The ability to move around mid to late game with mobility is more useful to better players, and they will over leverage that just because they tend to get to the mid to late game. And this kind of tank is one of those that, while it's not a great tank overall, because of its mobility, a good player can squeeze a little bit more out of that thing than other players can. All right. So that's our comparison. That's how it's doing overall. How did I do? I ended up with 53%. Had a decent run towards the end. Here we are, 880 average experience. What do the numbers look like? We were doing 1,535, which is a little bit low for me, I think, for tier 8. Let's find out. Tier 8 mediums. What am I doing in, say, the Saladin, just as a direct comparison? Oh, a lot better. So there you go. Maybe it's not low. Looking good there. Battle survived 37%. If you can get a tank like this, that's this soft, with a battle survived with 37%, you're probably going to be over 50% win rate. Hits are a bit low, to be honest. Its soft stats are not great without digging into it too deep, so that will hurt you a little bit. That should probably be about 5% higher, to be honest, if I was doing it right. 1.49 damage, 1.94 destruction, armor use, as you would expect, near 0. It just really doesn't have any. This is just the odd random bounce every now and again off your gun or some crazy angle thing going on. 553 assistance is pretty good. That speaks to the survival rate and getting into the mid to late game, getting a little bit extra assistance. And I ran quite a bit that vision setup, even though it wasn't fantastic. I managed a 1,755 experience game base. That was not bad. 3,512 damage, and the most kills I got in the thing was 5 in a game. So there you go, fellas. That's the general view, overview anyway, of the GSOR right there. If we take a look at how mine's set up, and unfortunately, at least my crew's not in there, but some of the equipment stuff not there, or is not there. We get to an average DPM of 1928, so we're closing in on 2,000. Dispersion only down to 0.3 with this setup. Let's see if we can help. I don't think I have the IA or anything. I'm actually missing a piece of equipment anyway. This bumps it up to an average DPM of 2,143. That's not bad. We're getting in the ballpark right there. Gun loading down to 10.08. Throw on vents or something that'll help out with that there. What do we have? Mobility. There's no turbo, so that's not really going to help any of that stuff. I'm not using hardening or anything. Concealment gets us up to 20 stationary and 15 while moving. Not great. And view range with this setup is 428, although I will tell you, when I had this other setup, which I'm not going to have the optics or anything, with the optics on there, it did push it up to the max or past the max, so that was good. All right, couple examples of gameplay for you, and then we'll be right back and wrap it up. All right, fellas, gameplay for the GSOR 1010. Like I mentioned, I got this thing fairly recently, getting close on the 100 battle challenge with it, which you'll see the information on that when I do finish. This was one of the games in the last about 10 games or so that I had with it. It is bottom tier, so I thought it would be useful to kind of show you guys the general idea of this tank. So I've probably mentioned a lot of this already, but you're talking about a relatively mobile tank that has a pretty good gun, and there you go, right? There's not much camo on this thing. We are here on Tundra. I am going to head towards the hill. So I'm going to use the mobility right here to see if I can shoot something going up the hill. What I don't want to do, and I'm kind of paying attention to who's coming with me, and it doesn't feel like much right now, fellas. Look at this. Two options, obviously. Go up the hill yourself and try to take it, but man, if you get pushed, you're going to get shredded pretty badly. You got a long, heavy-esque reload. Yeah, you got a 360 alpha, but 10 seconds, something like that. You're very soft. You're vulnerable to HE. Yada yada, right? Your bottom tier. So this did not feel like a situation. Now, if I can get up there later, I'll do so. But right now, we're just going to look for that free shot. And that's what you're looking for with a tank like this. Think kind of leopard stuff. Get to a spot where you can get a free shot and then use your mobility to make decisions later on where you want to go. So EBR, we got, oh, okay, this guy's right here. Let's shoot him. Excellent. All right, that's what you want, right? And a nice 405 high roll. And we're off to the races. And I'm kind of expecting, look how long that reload is, guys. Look at that, it just takes a while. I'm sort of expecting a couple others to go by, having noticed that we had both stopped and only that guy went up the hill. But the good news for us today is they didn't send anybody else. So I'm going to take a chance, guys. They didn't come. So I'm just going to go. And I may eat a shot in the side, but so be it. That's a bummer. I did. I ate 2. Ouch. Ouch. All right. Now you had to know, right? There's so many tanks unknown. There's decently fast tanks, the AMBT. You know, unlucky it was a Cobra, for goodness sake. He drops. I guess actually the Cobra missed. The Udez hit me of all things. So I took a Udez hit and AMBT. So yes, I paid for that. I probably could have waited because check it out. Now we got the beef coming up. All right. Mistake on my part right there for sure. Artillery is a problem for this tank. Good news here is there's only one. Bad news is he's going to take a poke at me here in a moment. So we'll come over here. The maneuverability is extremely annoying on this tank. I shoot him right into the mantlet, right into the gun, so I do nothing with that. IS-7's making a bold push. We got the Maus clogging up the other side, so it's nice to have the IS-7 here. We're going to bounce again. Skoda pushes up, M60 pushes up, and we'll start working the hill up here. Boom, take 271. Honestly, I'm lucky that dude didn't take me out. Extremely vulnerable to artillery, this tank, if you get hit. It's just a great big box of a tank. Take some bad shots here. There we go. That's a good one. I think I take a few bad. There are some positions back there that can shoot you in that open spot, especially if you're a big tall tank like this one. I'm wondering if I can get this AMBT, but I can't see him. He's down below. He's disappeared, so let's leave. He's not spotted, so he might be able to get a shot that I can't see, or a shot on me and I won't be able to see. Take a stab at that and miss. So you're just doing fire support for the mid part of the game. We're starting to create a good lead, so I'll just sit up here and look for shots of opportunity. I have hurt myself in terms of being able to make pushes because I lost so many hit points so early. So I'm a 198. There's nothing left that won't kill me with one shot, minus maybe the artillery getting a bad splash or a far splash. So I've just got to be very careful, take the shots of opportunity as I can. This guy's moving across. Oh, I got buddy. Yeah, there we go. Lucky. I mean, I literally put that right on the guy. So I got a little help from dispersion there. It does have 1,250 shell velocity, so that is comfortable. You don't need a whole bunch of lead when you've got that much shell velocity. We'll come up here and look for shots maybe on this guy. He backs out. All right, how about this guy? Maybe he'll come out. Oh, thanks, M60. Yeah, just jam in where I... Uh-oh. Really? I wish I had shot the guys in the back. I get lucky there, and then I come on. I get a little bit lucky here. Whoa, wow. Not the most agile tank in terms of hull maneuverability. So we got not 1,927 guys. You know, just kind of be a support tank. Stay out of the direct punchy face stuff. Good effort on my part, minus the part where I got biffed by 2 people because I made a move early. That was a way earlier move than I really should have. Got my HE going here. We're going to hope to kill this M53-55 with an HE shell. Maybe we can nuke him with one. There we go. We'll just shoot him right in the side in 406. Oh, well. Good effort. Nice try. Damage isn't much higher. I was going for the ram kill for the year of the ram right there. I have an HE shell, but let's check it out. See if we can put an HE shell in the buttocks here. And nice. Get a 444 out of that. I'll take it. So those last 2 shots add about 800, and we get up to 2,777 damage. That long reload, man. You know, for a medium, that long reload can be really annoying. It's nice to have a 360 Alpha gun and some decent mobility, but there's the heavy-esque reload. There's the 0 armor. It's not an easy tank to do well with. You also notice I had it kind of in this goofy spotting setup. I did that early on. I really should have changed it. I did have a combat setup where I don't have the CVS and all that other crap on it. It's not a great scout, fellas. End game, if you're still alive and have some hit points, because of its mobility, it can get around the map and do that stuff well. But in terms of actually hiding in things, its camo is atrocious. So that I know it's a goofy setup, but there you go. I have a lot of those. Get over it. Let's wrap this up. All right, fellas, I do have a second example here. We're going to kind of fast forward through some of this stuff, but as I discussed before, you want to use your mobility. This is a much more wide open map than the last one. Well, is the name Highway, Himmel's Highway Dorf. So I'm going to head over initially to the field. We'll get some lights. Again, it's not a great camo tank, so you don't want to go blitzing forward there and let their even 90 or even the Lynx see you. Nice velocity on the gun, so it didn't require a lot of lead. We're going to see this guy. I missed that. I didn't even see the Kari. I was so busy trying to kill this dude, and I actually missed this shot, unfortunately. That was behind him. So we don't get this guy killed. Now notice we don't have anybody going up to the northwest corner. I'll be watching the heavy zone over there and deciding whether I need to go backwards or not. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, terrible shot. Should have killed that guy, to be honest. I think somebody else ends up getting him here. Maybe yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we don't have the even 90 dead. I'm not sure where he is. Oh, there he is. He's over on the top of the hill. That's really good for us that he's not down there in the field, to be quite honest. We kill a Ferdinand off. That's very helpful. So because I know the ELC is way back there, that allows me to kind of get out in the open a little bit here, maybe get some shots. But the longer he's gone, the less sure you can be of where he was. And it looks like the Lynx was seeing their shots coming in at the guy, so I'm going to try to get out of there. That's probably residual spotting. Oh, crud, there's a Saladin. Just saw him, so we'll take a shot at him. Got him. Look for some cover in these buildings. He's on fire, but he doesn't quite die. Got to wait for that long reload. Oh, he's going to hit me. There we go. Auto aim. Brakes. Get into hard cover from shots. Hopefully Artie doesn't nuke me. And there goes the 6x6. So we're looking okay right here. Artie takes a stab at the 6x6. We're going to see if he gives me some shots, potentially. I don't know if maybe there's somebody in that corner. If there is, it's going to be the BZ, the Nomad, potentially the 34-2 over there. But he bails out. He doesn't like that because he doesn't have a lot of help. There is a Burr back here with me. So we're just doing fire support, fellas. That's what we're doing. And I'm noticing that the heavies are probably not having a great time of it. So we'll kind of zing around over here for a moment, see if we get any shots. And watching all that go down, I do get a shot on a Tiger 2. Now we got guys down below here. We missed that shot. There's the 34-2. They've done a number on our guys up in the field, though. So I'm thinking, all right, fire support, what do I do with it? Do I go back up into the field where they're starting to get an advantage? Or do I head into the heavy zone with all these heavies and try to be the annoying medium? And that's what I choose to do. We'll take that speed. We'll get down in here. I get the Nomad lit, which, holy cow, and Kari thumps me for 521. So, unfortunately, I eat some shots doing that, but we get these guys beat up. Their BZ's out in the open. That's extremely helpful. I can't quite get a shot on him here. Nomad dies. Good. Let's not back out and let the Kari have another shot. There's a Tiger 2 right there. And I sort of get pinned down here. The Tiger 2's looking at me. I considered just trading with the dude, but that would suck to come around, get hit, and then bounce off his front armor. So we're going to be a little bit smarter if we can right here. Hopefully that BZ gets killed. There is a fence right there, so I do have to be careful about backing out and letting somebody shoot through the fence at me. So we've got some heavies. This created a little bit of an advantage for us at 6.5. We've stemmed the bleeding, but we still have a problem out in the field. I'm going to try to knock down this. Kind of lucky I didn't get spotted, to be honest, but it doesn't look like there's anybody out in the field there anymore. The Burr, the GSOR, and the Sturv look like, at least for the moment, they have the cap sorted out. I know I'm going to probably have to get back there at some point. I have to use the speed. At least that's what I'm expecting at the moment, having to go back there with the speed. I'm hoping our heavies don't get crushed here. They're doing a decent job. Caliban gets thumped. And I'm wondering, all right, when am I going to get an opportunity to sneak a shot on this Tiger 2? Also, I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is. So is he going to come up? I'm probably going to get lit. I did. He shot. Fantastic. There's my opportunity. You're not going to get a 2-for-1 with this tank against much of anything. Its reload is so long. It's certainly not against a Tiger 2, who might probably be loading HE right now. So I'm just not even going to attempt that. He's looking the other way. Good. He shot. We'll do that. Perfect. All right. Now I've created some opportunity for myself to maybe get moving around a little bit. I can still take a hit unless somebody loads a big HE round. But there is an artillery as well. It's 7-6. We're doing okay on our cap. The ELC, getting him dead would be absolutely amazing. I would really love to see the ELC dead. Kari's moving around. I should have knocked down that building, to be honest. Or not the building, but the fence, because I can't quite see these dudes. And I'm wondering if they're going to come around the corner here. Like, come on, one of you guys poke. Oh, thank you, Caliban Ramsey. Oh, geez. Just noticed him. He thumps me. That sucked. Not going to get a 2-for-1 against a Kari either. I am down to a one-shot. I don't have any real big options here. He looks like he wants to come around and shoot this guy. He's trying to make a choice, and that's unfortunate. I'm expecting to die to the Caliban, but I don't. So either he was still waiting to aim, or he didn't have a shot, or wasn't loaded. I don't know. But I'm out of here. Let's use the mobility and fall back. I'm really worried that the Kari will just keep pushing and catch me out in the open right there. Remember, it doesn't have a lot of camo. I am faster by a bit. This should allow me to get further away than he can spot me relatively soon. He probably would have had to just really push hard to catch me out in the open. The further I get, the better off I am. Because I should be opening up, especially once I get up and above here, above the hill. And there you have it, folks. I'm going to swing all the way around back over to the cap. I'm not going to show you the rest of it. Just wanted to say, you know, Leopard-esque kind of gameplay. Go to some place, look for early shots like we've talked about on both replay examples. Reposition if you need to go help other areas there. And make sure that you have an out with this thing. You don't want to get trapped. You don't want to get pinned down. Trading's never a great idea with this unless you know you're going to kill it. Be careful as you can anyway about getting whipped by HE and artillery and all that. It ain't easy. There was I had to use a lot of brain power, such as I have anyway, to just get any kind of decent result out of this. All right, now we'll wrap it up. All right, fellas, I think you can see with what I showed you there on the gameplay is that you're really looking for this anyway to keep your tank alive mid to late game, but this tank can be especially effective, extra effective, more effective than it otherwise might be if you can get it to the mid to late game, right? There are better tanks. Clearly, if you get a bat chat to the mid to late game, it's probably going to do a lot better, but you can use this mobility, and it's a decent alpha gun to get out there, move around, get some kills, play it more like a Leopard, which is great to say, but a Leopard's tier 10, and it doesn't have any tiers above it. This thing can be super painful trying to deal with 9s and 10s, just because it just doesn't have any kind of stealth or armor, right? What is it in this game? You've got mobility, stealth, armor, and firepower. This one has mobility limited to some extent because of its hull traverse. It has a little bit of firepower, has no stealth, and it has no armor. So we have maybe 1.5 of the 4 things there at best. I liked it okay. It's a thinking man's tank. If you're going to do well in this thing, you need to be on your game and be thinking. You can't, taking chances, relying on armor, that kind of stuff isn't going to cut it. You're not going to be able to go play punchy face, which is sometimes the easier decision in this game. Just go to a hold down spot, play punchy face. Some maps, that's really a lot of what's there. Like say you get on Himmelsdorf, you really got to think with this thing. You got to be supportive. You got to get to where you can get shots, but you also got to be able to use the mobility and be smart. Let me know what you think about the GSOR 1010 down below. I didn't hate it. I just felt like it was very difficult to do well in it. That's all I've got for today. We will see ya.